On the 13th of June, 2001, in the quiet suburban neighborhood of Benson in Omaha, Nebraska, a seemingly ordinary day took a perplexing turn that would leave a family, a community, and investigators grappling for answers for over 2 decades. Jason Anthony Jolkowski, a 19-year-old known for his shy demeanor and aspirations to become a radio DJ, vanished without a trace while walking a mere 8 blocks to meet a coworker for a ride to work. The absence of witnesses, surveillance footage, or physical evidence has made his disappearance one of the most baffling missing persons cases in Nebraska's history. Jason Jolkowski was born on the 24th of June, 1981, in Grand Island, Nebraska, to parents Jim Jolkowski and Kelly Murphy. By 2001, he was living with his parents and younger brother, Michael, at their home on 48th and Bedford Avenue in Omaha's Benson neighborhood. Described by his mother as a quiet boy with a small circle of friends, Jason was reserved but deeply connected to his family and faith, actively participating in their Catholic church. Despite having learning disabilities related to speech and language, which could make him appear mildly mentally disabled, Jason was of above-average intelligence and had clear ambitions. He was a part-time student at Iowa Western Community College in Council Bluffs, Iowa, enrolled in a radio broadcasting program, with dreams of becoming a DJ for KIWR, a local radio station. To support himself, he worked part-time at Fazoli's, an Italian-American restaurant located at 80th and Cass Streets in Omaha. Jason's life appeared stable and unremarkable. He was not involved with drugs or alcohol, had no known enemies, and showed no signs of distress or a desire to leave home. His routine was predictable, marked by household chores, work, and studies. On the morning of the 13th of June, 2001, this routine was disrupted by a simple request that set the stage for his inexplicable disappearance. The 13th of June, 2001, began like any other day at the Jolkowski residence. Jason was not scheduled to work at Fazoli's that day, as his car was in the shop for repairs due to a recent hailstorm. However, around 10:15 a.m., his manager called, asking if he could come in early to cover a staffing shortage. Unable to drive, Jason initially considered walking the roughly 4-mile distance to the restaurant but decided it was too far. Instead, he arranged for a female coworker, who had also graduated from Benson High School, to pick him up. Because Jason struggled with giving directions, they agreed to meet at Benson High School, a familiar location just 8 blocks, approximately half a mile, from his home. At around 10:45 a.m., Jason was last seen by his younger brother, Michael, and a neighbor, Chester Link, as he helped Michael bring the family's trash cans back from the curb to the garage. Jason was dressed in a white Chicago Cubs or Sammy Sosa t-shirt, a blue or black Chicago Cubs baseball cap, black dress pants, and black dress shoes. He carried a red Fazoli's work t-shirt and had no more than $60 in his possession. His brother watched him begin walking in the direction of Benson High School, a route through quiet residential streets with minimal pedestrian or vehicle traffic. The walk should have taken no more than 10 to 15 minutes. Between 11:15 and 11:30 a.m., Jason's coworker called the Jolkowski home to report that he had not arrived at the school. She had waited at Benson High School, even going to a nearby gas station to call Fazoli's before returning to work. Surveillance footage from the school was reviewed, but it showed no sign of Jason arriving or even approaching the campus. From that moment, Jason Anthony Jolkowski vanished, leaving no trace of his whereabouts. The Omaha Police Department was notified of Jason's disappearance, and an investigation began promptly. However, the case quickly became what one officer described as the most perplexing in 30 years of service. The residential route Jason was expected to take was thoroughly searched, with police interviewing neighbors and conducting ground searches within days. Despite these efforts, no witnesses reported seeing Jason after he left his home, and no physical evidence, such as his clothing, money, or work t-shirt was ever found. Investigators checked Jason's bank account and cell phone records, but there was no activity after the 13th of June. His car remained at the repair shop, and his final paycheck was left unclaimed at Fazoli's Romdu. Personal belongings in his room were untouched, with no indication that he had planned to leave. Early theories that Jason might have been a runaway were quickly dismissed. His family emphasized his responsible nature, close family ties, and lack of involvement in risky behavior. Jason had no history of running away, no known conflicts, and no reason to disappear voluntarily. The absence of surveillance footage was particularly confounding. In 2001, security cameras were less ubiquitous than today, but Benson High School's cameras should have captured Jason if he had reached the vicinity. The lack of footage suggested he never made it close to the school, narrowing the window of his disappearance to the short distance between his home and the meeting point. The suburban setting, in broad daylight, made the absence of witnesses even more puzzling. The Benson neighborhood was described as quiet, with nosy retirees and little traffic, yet no one reported seeing anything unusual between 10:45 and 11:30 a.m. Foul play became the leading theory, supported by Jason's family and investigators. Given his height and weight, a forced abduction in a busy neighborhood seemed unlikely without someone noticing. Speculation arose that Jason may have been lured into a vehicle or a nearby home by someone he knew or trusted, possibly under a pretext like needing help with a task. His trusting nature, noted by those close to him, could have made him vulnerable to such a scenario. Online discussions, particularly on platforms like Reddit, have suggested a neighbor or acquaintance from his church community as a potential suspect, though no evidence supports these theories. Other hypotheses, such as a hit-and-run accident or Jason falling into a storm drain, were considered but deemed improbable. A hit-and-run would likely have been noticed in the suburban setting, and local storm drains were too small to be. The lack of a body, DNA evidence, or any personal items has left investigators with no tangible leads, and the case remains classified as an endangered missing person case with the Omaha Police Department.
2 decades have gone by and Jason Jolkowski's family continues to search for answers, hoping someone will come forward with new information.
The disappearance of Jason Jolkowski devastated his family, plunging them into what Kelly Murphy described as ambiguous loss, a psychological term for the grief of losing someone without closure. In the days following Jason's disappearance, Kelly sat by the phone, hoping for news, while grappling with the surreal reality of her son's absence. Over time, her prayers evolved from hoping for Jason's safe return to seeking answers, regardless of the outcome. Determined to turn their pain into purpose, Jim and Kelly Jolkowski founded Project Jason on the 6th of October, 2003, a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting families of missing persons and raising awareness about their cases. Kelly, who became the face of the organization, underwent over 100 hours of professional training in missing persons advocacy, offering emotional support, case management, and resources to other families. Project Jason's mission is to provide hope and assistance, with a motto that resonates deeply. All missing persons are loved by someone, and their families deserve to find the answers they seek. As of 2025, Jason Jolkowski's whereabouts remain unknown, and his case is one of the most enigmatic in modern missing persons records. The Omaha Police Department continues to investigate leads, though none have yielded breakthrough. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children has released age-progressed images showing what Jason might look like in his late 30s, keeping his story in the public eye. For the Jolkowski family, the pain of not knowing endures, tempered by their faith and commitment to helping others. Kelly Murphy has reflected on the biblical story of Mary and Joseph losing Jesus for 3 days, drawing parallels to her own anxiety and hope. The family holds on to the belief that answers will come, whether through a miraculous reunion or the discovery of what happened. Jason's disappearance highlights the fragility of everyday moments and the profound impact of unresolved loss.